Yo, what's up everyone? It's your boy Spec here, and there are two specs for Mutilate to use in Arena in Phase 2, and in this video, we're gonna be going over both of them. All right, so the first one that we're gonna be going over is the one that I have currently activated, and this is going to be the spec that you want to use if you're climbing up the ranks or the ladder, or if you know that there are particularly a lot of rogue comps queuing. So if you take a look at my queue session yesterday, I understand there's a lot of losses, but there's a lot of rogues. So I knew that I needed to run this because there were just a lot of rogues queuing in my rotation yesterday. So this is like a time when you have this spec, or if you are, again, climbing up the ranks because you're going to be naturally going against a lot more rogue teams. So first off, what we want to do is we want to go across the board and we want to max out everything. Opportunity, Massive Deception, Relentless Strikes. Then we're going to grab Dirty Tricks and Camouflage. We want the max speed because it's very important for Mutilate. Anytime trying to get back to a target using Vanish to remove slows or something like that, we always want to have that max speed, especially when we're trying to sprint in and try and get a sap. Serrated Blades and Elusiveness is going to be the next choices. You're going to max those out. Skip the bottom line. Then you're going to grab Dirty Deeds, Preparation, and then Heightened Senses. And this is the difference in the particular spec, because with the Heightened Senses, this is going to allow you to kind of go toe to toe with the Subtlety rogue, because a lot of times last season when I didn't go this, say for example, you're going up against a sub rogue mirror and you're on the triple saps on the priest, you guys kind of are in the same vicinity because it's triple sap. And what ends up happening is because the rogue has heightened senses, the sub rogue, he actually would end up just getting the sap on you and then getting the full go, and that would pretty much cause you to lose the game. Also, this is insanely good against Mage Rogue and SPR, which are hard counters for Mutilate Rogue Disc Priest. So this allows us to have that just chance. And I'm not kidding you, I've been getting a lot of saps on the SPRs and the Rogue Mages. So this is huge. So if you know you're queuing into Rogues, this is the spec that you want to run. And again, if you are starting off from 0 and you're going up the ladder, I would say this is the safest bet because it's just going to cross all the boards. It's just going to cover every comp, and you're not really going to take too much of a dampener going to Heightened Senses versus everything else. So next we have is Malice. We're going to go over to the Assassination tree. We're going to max this out. Then we're going to go into Puncturing Moons and then into Ruthlessness. We're both going to max those out. We're going to skip over Blood Splatter. We're going to grab Vigor. We're going to go 3 out of 5 in Lethality. And by the way, just a side note on Lethality, make sure you're running the crit gem so these things stack. All right, just a little tip here. And then Vile Poisons we're going to max out, and then we're actually going to max out Improved Poisons. This is something that I changed, and I found that it's just super important for us to have constant poisons up, especially when you go up against comps. Say, for example, you're going up against Preg Ellie, HPAL Ellie, Ret Enhancement, things that have double cleanses. It's kind of crazy. I've been seeing DK Druids. I've been seeing Warrior Druids. These things that have a lot of poison cleansing, and even like Feral Disc Priests, you want to make sure that you always have the poisons up because it's super important that they don't get cleansed off. And you always want the deadly stacks applied because that is going to allow you to get the envenoms off and keep that damage going. Next, we're going to go Fleet-Footed. We're definitely going to go Quick Recovery, and obviously we're going to grab Cold Blood. And here's another part where the talent tree changes. We're going to go Seal Fate, and then we're going to go Murder. We're actually going to skip Dead End Nerves. We're not running Dead End Nerves at all doing Mute Disc. This was different than last season. And then we're going to grab Deadly Brew. We're going to go all the way in Focus Attacks. We're going to skip Find Weakness, and then we're going to grab Mutilate, and then we're going to grab Master Poisoner. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the combat tree. And here is where we have the difference in the combo points where we can kind of change out kind of what we want to do. So one thing that we can change is, again, last point in this spec will be for the dual specialization for the 10% damage on your offhand. Because again, remember, your damage for the most part is going to always be, your highest points will always be melee damage. I understand that my damage here was Envenom. This was because it's a double DPS and the game was very fast. It was Boomkin Rogue. However, most of the time, the majority of the time, your damage is going to be from your auto attack. So this is actually a really big deal kind of tinkering with these talent points because 10% is a huge deal, especially when you have a lot of uptime over what, 4 or 5 minute game. It's a lot of damage that you can be subtracting from your DPS. So again, this is going to be the final point in this talent tree spec. And now where it differs is if you want, you can grab the 2 points from heightened senses, pull that out, and you can put that into dual wield specialization, and that's going to boost you up to 3. Or you can also take 1 point out of improved poisons and then boost this up to 4, and that is going to be your max spec. So if you're not going up against rogues and you kind of feel like, man, because there's times where the ladder is no rogues and you're going to get a lot of DK pregs. Like, for example, look at this queue session, right? There was like only one rogue team. And I was like, okay, if you're feeling that the queue sessions are not bringing you rogue teams, this is the spec that you would swap to, where you can get the 30 or the 40% increase on your offhand damage, because it's super important when you're going up against Warrior Pally, DK Preg, especially DK Preg or Pally Enhancement, where it's just such a all-in DPS race. So that's going to be it for this video. Those are the talent points that you can swap out. Again, the safe spec all around is the heightened senses. This is going to give you the same equal footing against the subtlety rogues. And then if you want to take the chance, you feel that the ladder is in your favor and there aren't any rogue teams, go ahead and put the 4 or 3 points into the dual wield specialization. You can grab that extra damage and clutch out those wins. All right, guys, it's your boy Spec. As always, man, much love and thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.